Magic fans, I'm Beef, and welcome back to another standard gameplay video, and today we are playing Dragons. Dragons, like a lot of creature types, have received a small amount of support in Foundations, along the, with some reprints and some new cards, which have made it possible to build a deck. I wouldn't go so far to say build a good deck, which I'll get to in a bit. But we have got some new cards and some reprints. And one of the most important ones in the deck, which is I think a reprint from Adventures in Forgotten Realms, is Carnelian Orb of Dragonkind. It's a 3-mana rock we can tap to add red. And it says if that mana is spent on a dragon creature spell, that creature gains haste until the end of turn. So being able to haste in some big dragons is really, really good. And obviously ramping into them is really powerful as well. The problem with this deck is overall its speed. As you will see, dragons are very, very expensive. And I think 3 mana for this mana rock is a bit too slow. We are playing black-red. I think you could probably play green-red and have, say, like Llanowar Elves as well, which would be a bit more helpful. But we play black-red. We are playing black-red for Rivaz of the Claw, which is not a new card. It's from Dominaria. It's a 3-mana 3/3 menace. We can tap it to add 2 mana any combination of colours. Spend this mana only to cast dragon creature spells, so a great ramp card. And then once during each of our turns, we can cast a dragon spell from our graveyard. But then, like a lot of the time, that creature then gains, when this creature dies, exile it. Problem with this is it's a creature and it just dies. I don't think I've ever managed to tap it for mana, because again, 3 mana for a mana dork is slow, even though it does tap 2, but it is just 2. It just dies, so that's why we only have 2 copies. The other new card from Foundations is Twinflame Tyrant, and this is one of the most powerful ones in the deck. It's a 5-mana 3/5 with flying. It says if a source you control would deal damage to opponent or permanent opponent controls, it deals double that damage instead. So this by itself, it will do 6 damage when it attacks. And if we can haste this in with the orb, that's fantastic. A reprint we've got is Drakuseth, More of Flames. It's a 7-mana 7/7, so really expensive flyer. And when it attacks, it deals 4 damage to any target and 3 damage to each of up to 2 other targets. That can be, we can go face with that 4, or one of the 3s if we need to, and again that will be doubled up with the Twinflame Tyrant. And a recent reprint in Outlaws of Dungeon, Terror of the Peaks, really, really powerful. A 5-mana 5/4 with flying. Spells your opponent cast that target Terror of the Peaks cost additional 3 life to cast, so it's basically Ward pay 3 life, but I think the original Terror of the Peaks came out before Ward was a thing. And it says when another creature you control enters, Terror of the Peaks deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target. And they are all the newer cards, although I suppose Terror of the Peaks is older than Dragonhawk, Fate's Tempest. We have played this one on the channel before in a Legends deck, I think. It's 5-mana 5/5 flying. When it enters attacks, exile the top X cards of your library, where X is a number of creatures you control with power 4 or greater. So by itself, it will exile 1 card. You may play those cards till your next end step. At the beginning of your next end step, Dragonhawk deals 2 damage to each opponent for each of those cards that are still exiled. And if we haste this in with the orb, obviously we can get that enter and attack trigger in the same turn, which is really powerful. So rounding out the creatures, Incinerator Guilty, only 1 copy. 6-mana 6/6 flying trample. When it deals combat damage to a player, we may collect evidence X, which means we can exile cards from our graveyard with mana value X, so whatever we choose. When we do, Incinerator Guilty deals X damage to each creature and planeswalker that player controls, so great as a board wipe. Bonehaul Dracosaur we have played before. It's just a fantastic card. It's also a dinosaur, so we have played it in a dinosaur deck. 5-mana 5/5 flyer first strike. At the beginning of our upkeep, we exile top 2 cards of our library. You may play them this turn. If you exile a land this way, create a 3/1 red dinosaur creature token. If you exile a non-land card this way, create a treasure token. And then we have 2 copies of Decadent Dragon, a 4-mana 4/4 flying trample. Whenever it attacks, we create a treasure token, but it's also got an adventure, an expensive taste, 3-mana instant. Exile the top 2 cards of your target's opponent library face down. You may look at those cards and play them as long as they remain exiled. You cannot spend mana of any colour, so that's why the dragon creates a treasure to help us cast it, but it can be useful as well. And because the deck is so slow, the rest of the deck is basically removal. 4 Go for the Throat, 3 Invasion of Tarkir, which is great to transform into Violent Thundermaw, and again that attack trigger doubles up with Twinflame Tyrant, so that's a great finisher. And then we do have some deadly cover-ups as well, just to help wipe the board if we don't find Incinerator the Guilty. There is another reprint that we've not played. We did play, in, you might have seen some of the videos, I think it's like Laughless Dragon Queen. It's a 6-mana 6/6. and it says whenever a non-token dragon you control enters, create a 5/5 dragon. Problem is this deck's so slow. You know, if you get to a stage where you can pay 6 mana dragon and have it hang around to your next turn, yeah, you might get a 5/5 when you play your next dragon, but at that stage you're probably already close to winning. So it was just a bit too slow, and I've added in some more removal. We also do have 2 cards of Bitter Reunion to help us draw some extra cards and maybe give our board haste or creature haste if we haven't got the Orb of Dragonkind mana base. Swamps, mountains, and then a few dual lands. You only have 2 Blackleaf Cliffs because the deck's expensive. We don't want to. We don't have too many tap lands later on, and we do have 3 Cavern of Souls. These we'd probably go down 1 or 2 of these. They're useful against decks, but we do have a lot of non-creature spells, and obviously it can't tap for coloured mana for that. So as I said earlier, the deck is slow, far too slow for standard at the moment. You can get some turn 5 wins, which is fantastic. You know, if you go turn 3 Carnelian Organ Dragonkind, turn 4 Twinflame Tyrant, smash in for 6, turn 5 probably pretty much anything else, because even like a Bonehold Drakuseth you'll be hitting for 10 and then 6 with a Tyrant. It's absolutely bonkers basically, but that doesn't happen very often. I think green red might be a bit better, but if you're playing green red you might just play dinosaurs, which are probably a bit more powerful. And I think the problem with the cards they've printed or reprinted in Foundations of Dragons, like the Dragonkind, the Orb of Dragonkind, none of them really have any dragon synergies. There's no buff your dragons. You could play Adaptive Automaton to buff dragons, but the problem with dragons isn't that they're too weak, it's that they're too slow. So I think having another ramp card in here would be really useful. If you went turn 1 Llanowar Elves, turn 2 Orb, and then turn 3 one of your 5 drops, that would be a lot more powerful. But when it works, it's really fun, but it is just far too slow for standard. It is fun smashing in with big dragons, or wiping your opponent's board with Drakuseth or Incinerator or Guilty, or as I said, hitting in getting a turn 5 kill when you've had the perfect draw, but that is very, very rare. I hope you all enjoy the video though. Please let me know if you enjoy it, and please let me know if you do like dragons. Everyone likes dragons. They're iconic creature type, especially in Magic and wider fantasy. But hope you enjoy the video. If you do, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the gameplay. We go first with a promising hand. We have enough power in hand. I think we do need more land. Everyone's favourite. You imagine they take the invasion, otherwise we just get it back here. If we draw another land, we can play out the Tyrant. Spinner of Souls does have reach, but 5/5 first striker. They're touching our things. You'd think this would be an easy remove if they're removal. But they are touching stuff. Well, we can Twinflame Tyrant and hold up, cut down. If we draw a land, we can Drakuseth. No land, but we can invasion, take out one of their spinners. I do wonder if I could have maybe got lethal there. Well, they have a full grip. That's a powerful card. If we draw a land and they don't have another discard type effect, I think we just have lethal. It's not exactly what I wanted. They look at 12. If that Black Leak Cleave Cliffs was an untapped land, we would have, I think we would have won. Maybe. What did they get? Oh, they do have 1 mana available than or else. Well, we have another one. Now they are tapped out. And that is a ton of damage. Opponent goes first. We do need, well, black mana for Rivaz. And a 3rd land for Carnelian Orb. But on the draw against the Mir is not what we wanted to see. Well, at least we can invasion attack here. Take out their Siren, we don't need to. But yeah, 25 lands, and we just never seem to draw them. Well, at least that is a land. If we draw another one, we can haste in Twinflame Tyrant. Land ninjutsu deck.
I love a dramatic entrance.
Your secrets didn't stay hidden for long.
Land. Hey, black land as well. I imagine they jump. Problem is, how many this town ain't big enough for the both of us? Or this town ain't big enough, do they have?
I've got them picked. Press the attack.
Cast this on Dragon. But I imagine they have bounce. I could tack down Kaito, but they have another Kaito they're about to draw. I'm surprised that I don't know, they must have something. And yeah, our opponent saw a lot of power on the board, and then yeah, hopefully we draw more dragons. But with if they don't do anything next turn, we're hitting in for, well, 50. Well, actually no, 30 with Twinflame Tyrant, plus another 2 for 12 from Thundermaw, because that trigger is not whenever one or more or once a turn, it's whenever a dragon, and obviously we have 3 dragons. We need that third land. So they're on the tokens deck. Oh, that is the third land. One dragon. And now we are looking for that 4th land.
I have been reborn. This is our fight to win.
Well, we can take out Elsbeth. Well, we can attack down Elsbeth, I mean. would rather they've removed the second dragon.
We fight together.
I'm going to do this just so we see if we get our land drops. Wow. How many more locations do they have? Oh, one more. We have nothing in our graveyard because they've just been exiled and everything. We'll play out Rivaz. They clearly run out of exile effects. Well, I know it's just smaller than Incinerator for Guilty, but if they manage to produce a lot more tokens, we can haste in the Incinerator, and now we have things in our graveyard. Which is what we do now. Oh. Let's do 6. I know. Yeah. Just in case. I don't know what they could do to buff that 2-2, but you never know. And they need another Day of Judgment. which if they had, you'd imagine they would have played it before Carrot Cake. And yeah, it's not going to be enough. Yeah, pretty kind of close there. We managed to get back into it. But then they're exiling all our creatures. It means we didn't have anything in the graveyard for Incinerator of Guilty. It was very annoying. Our opponent goes first. If we draw the third land, we'll be okay. There's a third land. That's a Veil. There's a fourth land. Well, I think we're going to have to take out the Thespian. They do get to Surveil 1. Next turn we can Orb, and the turn after that, Drakuseth. Or we could Terror, take down our invasion, which will trigger Terror. And then we can take out the Hydra. And next turn we Drakuseth and swing out, essentially. I think we've had the Tyrant now. That's probably lethal. This is 6. Sorry, not 6. 12. Yes, that's more than lethal. Well, let's hope they're an aggro deck. But whenever we keep a hand of removal, it never seems to be. Well, that's a Veil. I do need a 5th land. So they are a reanimation deck. I need things in my graveyard for Deadly Cover-Up. Oh, I can name Atroxa or Skirman Emergence. I wonder if they have Zombify as well. Well, let's Bone Horde. And if at least I remove this, we could potentially Deadly Cover Up and name, say, Squirming Emergence. They don't do anything. Now it's on Dragon. Well. I think they might have a Deadly Cover Up of their own. Well, we can just kill that. This is what we do. And we have 5 left. We put 4 to face. Well, sorry, we put all these triggers to face. We put 4 to face. And then... yeah. More than enough, then we're doing another 8 with the exile cards from Dragonhawk. I'm really surprised they didn't have some kind of sweeper that turn they played Lumra. We go first. Well, with a lot of ramp and a bit of removal. Twinflame Tyrant with the right other cards can be really, really powerful. We do need to draw a 4th land to be able to play the Tyrant on turn 4. Life gain. Yeah, so absolutely taking that out now. And we did draw the 4th land. Essence Chandler's going to be an issue, but we do have ways to take care of it. Well, I think we play out the Tyrant. Swinging for 6. And in theory, we may just have lethal next turn. Yeah, we do. I've no idea how much this is actually going to hit for. 12 each. Yeah, makes sense. Doubled. So a very quick game there. We go first. With a bit of ramp, bit of removal, bit of card draw. We can survive turn 1. They did mulligan. I think we put that back. Maybe we should have kept it. Let's discard a mountain. I hope we draw a land. And another orb. Next turn, weaken Terror. Oh, they've got black. If they remove it, it will cost them 3 life. But it's probably worth doing it. Well, it won't cost them 3 life then. We'll pitch the second orb. It's annoying. I would have quite liked to have played that. They go dig in. I imagine they play the Helpless Nightmare. Hopeless Nightmare. We're down to 4. That is not what we wanted. That's also not what we wanted. They are also down to 4. If I have another Hopeless Nightmare, we are just dead. Or Shard Mage's Rescue. Do they have it? No, they don't. Whew!